Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Mediocre Mama. I hope you're doing really well. So I am now 37 weeks pregnant with my third baby. I'm finally on maternity leave, so it is time to get my hospital bag ready. So if you want to see what I'm packing for baby number 3, then stick around and watch this video. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and for you to follow the rest of my pregnancy journey, which is just a few weeks now, and perhaps my birth and motherhood with 3 children. So I am actually planning a home birth, a water home birth, but I do still need to pack my hospital bag. I packed my hospital bag and I did this last time with my home birth, and the reason being that it's first of all really helpful to have everything all in one place so that when I'm in the pool giving birth, everyone else around me can just find everything in one place, in one bag, especially my husband. But also, of course, I'm always aware that there is a chance that I may be transferred to hospital for any kind of particular reason, whether that might be meconium in my waters or high blood pressure. There are many reasons why I could be transferred to hospital, and I'm realistic about that. So although it didn't happen last time, I wasn't transferred to hospital, I'm still packing my hospital bag so that if I need to go to hospital, my bag is ready, we can just zip it up, get in the car, and off we go. So obviously the first thing not to forget is your hospital notes. So these should really ideally be kind of on the top of your bag. You might still need them before you go into labour, so make sure they're kind of at the top where you can just grab them. But hospital notes, do not forget these. As soon as you go into labour, this is one of the most important things that you need to take to hospital. It's what's going to be needed as soon as you get there. So hospital notes is one of the most important things in your bag. Do not forget these. Obviously as well, if you are going to hospital, make sure one of the first things that you have to hand, you might want to keep this in the car or in a little bag in your hospital bag, but coins for the car park. Make sure you have plenty of coins, because when you get to the hospital, you're not going to want to be panicking about paying for parking. Just start to collect coins or gather coins together and make sure you've got that money for the car park ticket. So I'll take you through what I've got packed for baby, first of all. So I have got some vests. I've got 5 vests, and I have just gone for newborn size, the first size. And some people like to take in a 0 to 3 size as well. And I think I did take in 0 to 3 with my first baby, but because I've now had 2 and I know that they're quite smaller babies, one £6.10, one £6.12, I think the likelihood of another kind of smaller baby is probably going to happen. So I'm not going to take 0 to 3. I find 0 to 3 absolutely massive, and even when my babies are born, newborn is quite big. So for your first, maybe pack a couple of 0 to 3 just in case you do end up having a slightly bigger baby. But newborn is perfect for me, and that's all I'm going to take for my baby. And I've got 5. I think 5 or 6 is absolutely fine. It's better to kind of take more than less. And first of all, because you don't know how long you might be in hospital, but second of all, you don't know how messy your baby is going to be. My first baby was very sicky after birth from everything he'd swallowed. He kept throwing up mucus. I had to keep changing him. And luckily I was only in for 1 night, and we went home the following morning, kind of by lunchtime. So I didn't really need any more than that. But I think 5 or 6 should cover you for any kind of mess. So as well as the vests, so you pop the vest on first, and then I've got 5 baby grows. Just a kind of selection of baby grows, different ones. And these are all newborn as well. So the very first kind of newborn size that they'll need. These are the ones that I have packed. And I'm not packing any scratch mitts. I find scratch mitts quite annoying. They just kind of fall off. I don't think I've ever really used them. I maybe tried them once on my first baby and never again. The sleep suits that have the kind of built-in scratch mitt are much better, because you can just turn it over their hands, and then you don't have to be packing little tiny scratch mitts that kind of get lost and muddled and don't stay on their hands. And then I've got a pack of baby hats. I've only bought a 3-pack These still need to be washed, but 3 is plenty. 2 is probably plenty as well. I found that in the first birth I had loads and loads of baby hats, like loads. People gave them to me, and my baby wore a hat for about the first few hours. And because he was born in May, it was quite a warm time of the year. So once we left hospital, he didn't wear a hat, and he didn't wear any of these hats. So I've just bought a few, because as well with my second baby, she wore a hat kind of for the first 24 hours, and then that was it. So you don't really need, in my opinion, a ton of hats, because they won't be wearing them. And when I had a baby in winter, if we ever did kind of go outside, I put on more of kind of like a thicker woolly hat than these ones. So I personally think 3 hats, if it comes in a pack of 3, that is honestly plenty. I've then got some muslins. So these are all washed and ready to use. I have got about 100 muslins, I am sure, that I have collected over my last couple of babies. You can just never have enough muslins. I just go through them so quickly. They're so handy. This is one baby product that you can never buy enough of. And both my babies were quite sicky. My second baby in particular was very, very sicky. So I used to go through like 4 of these a day. So I have got 3 here. 2 of them are quite big. I might pack another one just in case, but hopefully kind of 3 or 4 should be enough if you're going into hospital. I'm only going to pack 3. I'm at home and hoping not to go into hospital, but I think this should be enough. Fingers crossed I don't have a really super sicky baby this time. You might also want to pack a couple of bibs. That's entirely up to you. I've never packed a bib or used a bib as soon as they're born, so I won't be packing any, but I know that some mums like to, especially if they're going to formula feed from day 1, then you might want to pop a couple of bibs in to pop around when you start bottle feeding them. I've then got a couple of blankets. They recommend the cellular blankets, which are these really kind of breathable ones which have tons of holes in, because they're good for hot or cold weather and stop baby getting overheated, but also keep baby nice and warm. So a cellular blanket when they're born is recommended. So I have got one of these, and I have also got a nice kind of knitted one as well, which is super nice and cozy. And this was a gift for my last baby from Jojo Mum and Bebby, and I just never got to use it because we already had blankets. So I've kept this one nice and new for this baby. And then I've got some newborn nappies. I've gone for the newborn size 1 because size 1 is probably going to be what you're more likely to use. They do a size 0, but that's kind of for very, very tiny babies. This is for babies that start at 4 pounds and go up to 11 pounds. So my babies are born at kind of 6'10", 6'12", almost 7 pounds. So size 1 is perfect. I kind of tend to pick up nappies wherever I'm shopping. I've been collecting nappies. My first choice is Aldi, because the Aldi nappies are really cheap and they work really, really well. So I've got a few packets of those here already, but I just picked up some of these Asda ones. So I'm just going to put in my case half the packet, because I put the rest of the packet into this nappy caddy. So I've put a nappy caddy together. So I've got this ready at home. So again, if I'm not going into hospital, I've also got this really quick nappy caddy that someone can grab for me. And I've popped in all the newborn nappies, some wipes, more muslins, and my breastfeeding. I'll show you my little breastfeeding cover, which is unlikely to be used when I'm at home, but I tend to pop this on like if I have visitors or if I'm going out. I know some people don't mind about being covered, but I just feel more comfortable if I'm covered around people, and that's just me. So that's my breastfeeding cover. I've also got some nappy sacks. I don't tend to use these much, at home, but when you're in hospital and they're doing loads of those meconium poos or however many they're going to do, these are really helpful to just kind of bag everything up in the hospital so that you can bin it. And finally for baby, I have a pack of water wipes. Now I've only bought one pack of these, and I only ever buy one pack for my first and my second baby. These very pure 99.9% water. I don't know if they still say this, I do read it a lot, but people are talking about taking in cotton wool and cleaning bottom with cotton wool and water first. I think I took cotton wool in the first time. I think people still do it, I'm sure they do, and I'm sure it's recommended. But I just think these are so much easier just to grab a wipe and wipe their bottom rather than having to get some water and cotton wool and all a bit messy, especially with that first meconium poo. I just think these are a lot easier. But the water wipes are very, very, very expensive. So I always just buy the one packet, and once we've got through the first few days and finish the pack, then I just move on to normal wipes, and I use the Aldi sensitive wipes. Aldi is just so good for price. So that's what I will move on to after. But for my hospital bag and for baby's first yucky meconium sticky poos, water wipes. So that is baby. So let's move on to what I have packed for me. So thinking about being in labour, people often ask, what should I wear when I'm in labour? What have you worn before when you've been giving birth? In my first birth, I wore nothing, absolutely nothing. I couldn't think of anything worse to have clothes on. I was all hot and bothered. I was in and out the bath and eventually ended up in the pool. So I just wore nothing. Second time round, because I was at home, I think I had like a stretchy dress on in the day, which I just took off when I got in the pool. I kept on a maternity bra, which I'm kind of glad I did, because there were lots of pictures taken that evening of my water birth. So I'm kind of glad I did keep something on, because then at least you can still kind of share pictures with people without totally being exposed. But the reality is sometimes it is more comfortable to just strip off. So what I would suggest is to pack something loose and stretchy, like a nice stretchy night dress or an oversized t-shirt, something you're not worried about ruining or kind of getting like waters on or blood or things like that. So just pack it, and if you want to take it off, then it's super easy to take off. But don't stress too much about what you need to wear in labour. This time in the pool, again, I'll probably wear like a very stringy vest or my maternity bra again, and yeah, that will be it really. I have actually bought a nightie for after birth. I've bought this one from ASOS, but it's from the Mummalicious range, and it's just a really nice loose kind of nightie and very easy to kind of pull down and breastfeed in, or you know, just to pull it down and pop baby in. But this is just something nice and new for me to wear after birth. So I'm popping that in my suitcase so someone can grab it for me once I've kind of maybe had a nice hot shower or got into some fresh underwear, and I can pop on this lovely night dress to kind of relax in after and feed baby. So the next thing I have, thinking about labour still, is a TENS machine. I used a TENS machine for my first and second baby, so I definitely want to use it for my third. I know it's very effective for me. Some women don't like it, but I hire this. So I do read a lot of the time people buying them or paying very high price to hire one. This is from a website called Homebirth Supplies, and it's about £18 to hire, and you get it for 6 weeks. So that's not a bad deal at all. And it comes with new sticky pads for your back. It's got fresh batteries, and of course you get a manual with it. So you might want to take the manual with you. Ideally give it a really good read beforehand, because the first time you use it, it's a little bit confusing, but I'm kind of used to it now. So I kind of know how to use it. But have a really good read, because there's different settings and boost buttons and all sorts of things going on. So just make sure you're familiar with it before you go into hospital, because you don't want to be faffing around with it. However, it is one of those things that's really good to keep you at home for as long as possible. So even though you might pack it into your hospital bag, you're very, very likely to want to use at home in that latent stage of labour, and just to keep you at home for as long as possible, coping with the pain. So I'm keeping this together with my hospital things, but it's definitely something that I'm gonna need to use at home before I get in the pool. Other things you might want to use during labour, which I haven't got here to show you with me, but it will be things like snacks. Because I'm planning to be at home, I kind of have access to my cupboards and snacks and things like that. So I'm not going to buy too much, but I usually tend to go for like a pack of little, you know, like flapjacks and cereal bars, those kind of things that are really easy to kind of nibble on and snack on. Jelly babies is another really good one. I opened my jelly babies after I'd given birth, just when your kind of sugar levels drop, and I was just shoving these jelly babies in. They've tasted so good after giving birth. But the thing I've used the most in my first and second labour is the Lucozade Sport. I know not everybody likes to drink Lucozade Sport, but it does really, really, really help to keep my energy levels up in labour, and my husband always just kind of pours it into my mouth. So I'm going to get a 4-pack of the Lucozade Sport bottles, the still orange, and that should be enough to help keep me going through labour. But if you are going into hospital, I would more think about afterbirth snacks, because when I was in hospital, after I gave birth, they gave me some toast straight after, like a slice of toast with a bit of jam on it. And then I had to wait ages for a meal later on in that day. I gave birth just after lunch, so I'd missed lunch. I had to wait for dinner, and then that's it. And you can get pretty hungry after birth. So I'd think about after, if you happen to be staying in hospital overnight, or you've got to stay in for a period of time, make sure there's some kind of snacks. Don't try and think too healthy. I know that's not great advice, but afterwards you're going to want things like, I don't know, biscuits and crisps and sweets and getting your energy back up. So think about afterbirth as well, not just during, and what you might want to eat afterwards. It's also really handy to have one of those water bottles with the straws that you pull up so that you can keep sipping water as well. I did have one of those last time. I might buy another one, but I just felt like I kept drinking the Lucozade more than the water, to be honest. And then a couple of toiletry things that you might need during labour. Hairband, very useful to have those to hand in case you get really hot and sweaty and just want to shove your hair up. And the other thing that people mention a lot is some kind of lip balm. Now, I've never ever had dry lips in my previous 2 labours, so I always do pack one just in case. But this seems to be a common product that lots and lots and lots of women mention and pack, and they always recommend to other women, you're going to get really dry lips, make sure you have a lip balm. I think maybe from the gas and air, but I've never had this. So maybe it's because I'm drinking loads and loads of Lucozade, but I will have a lip balm to hand just in case this time my lips go dry. It's just probably like, I just think one of those things, if I didn't pack it, it would be that time that I got dry lips and would regret it. But yeah, pack one just in case. You never know, you might get dry lips during labour. Also think about, if you are going into hospital, you might get the opportunity to pace up and down the corridor if you're trying to speed up contractions or anything like that. So think about what might be easy to pop onto your feet. Things like flip-flops or slippers would be the best option. Flip-flops are a really good option because you can pace in them, but also you can use them after in the shower. It's really handy to have flip-flops when you need to use a shower that's used by everybody else, but you might find more comfort in having slippers. So you might want to bring both. So just think about that, where you might be walking around the hospital, what would be comfortable. And after as well, after you've given birth and you want to pop to the toilet and things like that, what can you just slip onto your feet really easily? Some kind of slip-on slippers or some flip-flops, just anything that's really easy to get on. As you know, my aim is to give birth at home, but I have treated myself to some really nice new comfy slippers that have a nice hard bottom. So if I do go into hospital, they've got a nice hard bottom on them. But I just thought, after giving birth, I really want to slip my feet into something nice and soft, especially the next day walking around the house. I just want something really super cozy and comforting on my feet. So now let's kind of think about after baby's been born, and what do you need after? So my first birth that was in hospital, the first thing that I did, I had some skin to skin with baby for a couple of hours. Actually I was forgotten about and I was left on the floor holding my baby, and they forgot about me, and I was stuck on the floor for 2 hours until someone came back in and helped me up. But the first thing they let me do was have a shower. I didn't do that at home because it was so late at night. Everybody just kind of wanted to go to bed, really, the people that were here to support me. I gave birth at 11:30 at night, but by the time the midwife had done all the checks and the clearing down and checking me and all that kind of thing, it was time to go to bed. So I didn't bother to try and get upstairs and have a shower, also because I was quite faint, my iron levels were low. So I didn't want to try and get up the stairs to the shower, so I just lay down on my sofa bed in my lounge and with baby and just kind of stayed there for the night. But what I am going to pack in my bag just in case of transfer to hospital is I'm going to fill these up. I've got these little travel bottles, so I'll pop in some shampoo and conditioner so I can wash my hair if I get to have a shower. And then this is an important one to think about as well. It's shower gel, and I often see people posting pictures of their hospital bag, and they've got like a really nice soapy, perfumey, lovely shower gel packed in their bag, and it just makes me cringe when I see it, because when you start to rub the shower gel over your body and it starts to run down, whether you've had, I don't know, if you've had a C-section even, or stitches down below, or a tear, or anything that's going on down there, that shower gel is going to run down there and sting so bad. So go for something like this. This is the Simple range. I think last time I had the 0% Radox, but I just picked this up whilst I was in the shop. It's the first one I saw. And yeah, it has no of everything on the front. No soap, no chemicals, no perfume, no colour, nothing. That's what you want. Just a really kind to skin, nothing that's going to sting you after birth, but will make you feel refreshed. So afterwards, when you've had your shower or you've not had your shower, but you need to get dressed. So first of all, I use disposable briefs. Now I got these from Boots. There's 5 pairs in there. So I use these first, just for the kind of real initial, very heavy bleeding, leakage. And these, you use them and then you throw them away. And I use them with these maternity pads. So I'm just gonna pop 1 pack in the suitcase. This has got 10 pads in. Hopefully I won't need to go into hospital, but if I do, 10 should be enough. And you stick them in the disposable brief. So put them together and then throw them away together. And once I've gone through my disposable briefs, I've then got these ginormous pants. And these are from M&S. Super, super comfy. I've gone up a size. Just allow for extra space and to fit the pad in and for it to come up nice and high and full coverage of the bottom. And I go for the dark colour in case of any leakage. And every time I buy these for first baby and second baby, I'm like, yeah, they're just for birth. And then they stay in my drawer for the next 6 years. I don't wear anything else now, to be honest. They're the most comfiest pants in the world. So I say that these are my post-birth pants, but really they're just kind of like my forever pants because they're so comfy. But no, in all honesty, really good for after birth. Something nice and big, fit the pad in and hide the leaking. I'm also packing a couple of nursing bras. The ones I use are by Panache, really super comfy, but also not too ugly. And these are the ones I used last time. Unfortunately, because of COVID, I can't, and most of you cannot go to a bra shop to get fitted. Normally, if you go for a nursing bra fitting, as I used to be a fitter at Bravissimo, we would either go back, because your back expands in pregnancy, so you know, we might go back down in the back for when your ribs go back down, and we would allow a fistful of space in each cup for the milk to come in. Now, I don't know if my boobs are a bit different this time, but I don't really have a choice. I can't go to the shop to get fitted. So I'm sticking with the ones that I used last time, hoping for the best, and they'll be fine for the meantime. And if I do need to pop to a bra shop once they open, I'll have to do it then. But I'm going to pack a couple, and I've bought the Lanzano breast pads. These really are my favourite brand. I've tried other brands and I always come back to these. They're really, really good. I do use the reusable washable pads, but my boobs when breastfeeding always start out like an explosion of milk. I have a ridiculous amount of milk. It goes everywhere and it soaks me through. So when I start breastfeeding, I always use the disposable ones, because the reusable washable ones they don't hold my milk at all and they just leak. So I really do need the disposable ones in the beginning so I can keep changing them, and they do hold more. And then once my boobs settle down, that's when I tend to move on to the reusable washable ones. But these really are a very good brand, and I know lots of other women recommend them as well. I'm showing you the whole box here, but I will only pack a few into my wash bag just in case I need to go to hospital. So I will pop a few in there. I won't need many because your milk doesn't tend to come in anyway until about day 3. So unless you're going to be in hospital for a while, it's unlikely your milk will come in. It's unlikely you'll use them. But I will put in probably about 6 just in case. So 3 lots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And honestly, that will be enough because, yeah, as I said, it's unlikely your milk will come in. But you just never know what's going to happen. So just always be prepared. I'm also packing the Lanzano nipple cream. Again, unlikely to need it. But last time, my baby had a very odd suck to begin with that took about 2 or 3 weeks to sort out, and she was crippling me from about day 2. So I always pack it just in case. You know, you might be in hospital for a few days and end up with sore nipples. But I think it's one of those products like the breast pads, it's a just in case thing that you pack. And then to wear after, you've seen the nightie that I've bought that I will probably wear after. I've also got another kind of old nightie that I had last time, which kind of buttons down the front. I've also bought from ASOS, just in case I don't want to wear a nightie and I want to wear some pajamas. They had some mix and match pajamas. So I've got this feeding top, which you just lift up, instant access to the boob, and obviously great if you want to pull back both and have baby on your chest. So I got this one and some comfy grey trouser bottoms. So yeah, just if I want something more comfy on, but these had really good reviews on ASOS in terms of maternity feeding pajamas, and also it kind of looks like loungewear to me, so I'd probably wear that in the day at home anyway. And then you might want to pack something like a very light cardigan or dressing gown. I know that hospitals are very, very hot, and I didn't really use a dressing gown that whilst there, but I've got this really kind of light summery one. And the reason I kind of suggest this is when you need to kind of go back and forth to the toilet. I mean, in my nightie, whilst in hospital, I leaked quite a lot, like blood onto my clothing. So if I'm walking to and from my bed to the toilet, you can be a little bit self-conscious about having blood stains on you. So you might just want to pop something around you to pop to the toilet and then take it off when you get back to the bed. Also, if perhaps you're in a hospital gown or anything like that, which is open at the back. If you're in labour, need to go up and down the corridor, go to the toilet or anything like that, you might just want something to cover you. Having said that, in my first labour, when I got out the bath, I just walked through the main lobby, back to the birthing room, naked. And then thinking about after birth, when you're kind of ready to get dressed, that might be at home, like me, after giving birth at home. I might be ready to put some clothes on. Or if you're needing to travel home from hospital, what can you wear home that's going to be comfy? Well, I recommend something dark in colour, again, for leakage. Something super comfy. Just pop on maternity leggings. Don't pressure yourself into any kind of clothes that you wore before you were pregnant. Stick to maternity wear. I've bought another pair of maternity leggings just so I've got a new fresh pair ready to go. And you know, your tummy's still going to be big-ish after birth, so having that extra kind of maternity space at the top. And then if you're feeding, you might just want to go home in a kind of vest top, something that's kind of easy to pull down, something that's nice and kind of loose on you, and just something over the top that's super comfy. So I've got this breastfeeding sweatshirt. It's got poppers down the side, so you can pop it open to feed, but just a nice super comfy sweatshirt, jumper and leggings is just the ideal thing to go home in, something super comfy. Or if it's warm, you might want to pack just like a long maxi dress or a loose dress, or just think about your tender body after and what's going to feel the most comfy on you. And then extra things you might want to pack. You might want to pack a little bit of makeup. To be honest, I'm not fussed. And in my first, I didn't wear any makeup. I don't think I took any. I don't think I wore any. But kind of for the days following, I've got a tinted moisturiser or a BB cream. Something that's really easy to just rub on with your fingertips. And the only reason I say this is because people take pictures, a lot of pictures of you with baby, pictures of you going home. I'm honestly really not someone to be really fussed about what I look like, but it's just something to think about in case you're looking quite pale and tired and you want to look back at the photos and think, you don't want to think, oh, I look horrific. Just pop a bit of BB cream on or something to kind of make you look a bit more alive. And then for me, for my suitcase, I've got a ton of old towels. Gonna need a lot of old towels for a home birth. But I know that it is quite handy if you want to take one big large bath towel into hospital with you, just in case the towels they give you aren't suitable, or I hear sometimes they're not quite big enough. But if you want your own kind of comfortable, nice big towel to wrap around you after a shower, then just maybe take in one of your old towels as well. But I think that's about it. If I have forgotten or missed anything, please do write a comment below of anything. I really don't want to pack too much. I don't want to take too much in. When I went into hospital the first time, I didn't even take anything like a hairdryer. I just let it dry naturally, or, you know, shove it up. I don't want to be an overpacker. I just don't think you need too much. But those are all the main kind of necessities that you need. And yeah, I hope you found this video useful, and maybe it's helped you to remember to pack something that you might have forgotten. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and make sure you click that subscribe button to follow the rest of my journey. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.